Ano ba yung self-loathing? The feeling of constantly hating yourself. Constant thought na you're not good enough. Pwede siyang mangyari sa work, na parang feeling nyo hindi good enough yung ginagawa nyo. Even sa relationships, na feeling nyo parang hindi kayo worthy or deserving of the love that your partner is giving you. Minsan meron tayong feeling din na parang we're not good enough for our parents, kasi parang minsan kasi may constant feeling na we want to get their approval. Kapag sobrang kine-criticize yun na yung sarili nyo, parang every little mistake that you make, yung, diba, parang galit na galit ka sa sarili mo, o may feeling din minsan na guilt, na dapat ba ito yung ginagawa ko for my kid? Nagdaan pala ako sa self-loathing. Parang I hated myself so much. I'm sharing with you yung process ko, like yung process na pinagdaanan ko, just in case parang if you're going through the same thing, or you're seeing someone who's going through the same thing. Recently lang siya nangyari sa akin, and I've always had this like strong sense of self. Self-hate was like out of the question. Like, I never thought I'd go through it. Nagmamanifest yung self-loathing sa akin before. I kept on dwelling. Like, I was a person who was so active. Biglang nag-weaken yung katawan ko due to pregnancy, and then later on due to the lobectomy. Lobectomy yung pagbawas ng lungs. Parang nagdadwell ako doon na typical of a cancer patient is to ask, why me? So sa inyo for sure, meron kayong sariling experiences na kayo rin, nabubugbog din kayo ng buhay in your own way. What you're going through is valid, what you're going through is real. You just have to like acknowledge that. So dahil nagdadwell ako doon, yung negative na yung perspective ko sa buhay, na yung negativity, naging siya, parang source, like an endless fountain of excuses, of justifying why I want to just stay where I am, why I just want to like lie in bed, parang why I want to just make the world stop. So yun, all those things are like small manifestations of self-loathing. Ano yung effects ng self-loathing? Doon nag-start, nagre-resent ako ng mga tao in my surroundings. As in, yung re-resent ko sila for having something that I don't have. Which is, in my case, kulang na kasi lungs ko. Hiingit ako sa mga taong, alam mo yun, hindi nagdaan sa ganong shit. So dahil doon, nakaroon din ako ng inability to interact with authenticity. Kapag may kausap ako, parang nahihirapan ako na to tell them what I really feel. Kasi nga, negative yung space ko and I don't wanna be judged for depressed ako and everything despite my blessings. So, nahihirapan akong to be myself. Kasi otherwise, if naging authentic lang ako, puro masama yung lalabas, puro reklamo. Kahit minsan mag-reach out sila, yung hindi ko ma-reciprocate yung pag-reach out nila. Ang negative ng take ko sa action nila, which is most likely coming from love and because they care about me. Not being able to interact with authenticity means that consequently, hindi ka makakapag-build ng genuine relationship. All those wasted love that's thrown my way, hindi ko siya na-receive ng maayos, and all because of self-loathing. Isa sa mga effects ng self-loathing is guilt, which is in itself a different baggage. I wanted to escape those effects kasi it didn't feel good eh. Pag kunyari, tulog na yung anak ko, yun lang ginagawa ko, Netflix tsaka games. Hindi na ako nag-iisip ng anything that has to do with me moving on with my life or doing something meaningful or parang finding purpose in my life. Alam mo, wag na. Parang ganun yung nafe-feel ko kasi wala naman akong kwentang tao. Nagdaan ako sa depression for the past 3 months. Nawalan ako ng motivation to set goals for myself. Kasi in my head, set ako ng goals, hindi ko naman kayang gawin. So, start akong mag-take ng freelance VA jobs. Doon medyo nag-downward spiral. Hindi ko na-meet yung deadline nila kasi may times na I can't get myself up in the morning. May times na parang gusto ko lang matulog. May times na gusto ko lang mag-games. Parang doon ko na-realize na quote-unquote wala akong kwentang tao. Hindi ako magaling. Dapat di na ako nagtatry. Sa sobrang grabe yung hatred that I felt towards myself. I wanted to harm myself. Nagkaroon ng point na namanhid na lang ako. Parang I'd rather not feel anything. So that was one of my ways before to escape. naging empty ako. I got so used to not feeling anything. Araw-araw, gising, chores, anak, tulog, Netflix, games. That was like a solid 1 month na ganun lang ginagawa ko. And I thought I was like okay na. Kasi at least wala akong nafe-feel. So, ibig sabihin okay na ako, diba? So, it's not always the case, guys. Recently, I talked to a friend. Ang tinanong niya ako, ano bang gusto mong gawin sa buhay mo, Phil? Ano, sige, tanggalin mo lahat ng factors. Tanggalin mo yung nagka-cancer ka, tanggalin mo yung may anak ka. Ano yung talagang gusto mong gawin sa buhay? Tapos, I couldn't answer it. Nung tinanong niya ako doon, parang bigla akong nag-snap back into the reality na hindi pwedeng ganito, araw-araw, na empty lang ako. Ganito ako for the rest of my life. Sobrang na-bother ako, as in bigla ako na problema na, shit, oo nga na, bakit di ko alam yung gusto kong gawin. When that dawned on me, dun ko lang na-realize na kailangan ko nang gawan to ng paraan. I was aware na parang it's bad to feel guilty, it's bad to resent people. Alam ko yung dapat isipin, alam ko yung dapat hindi isipin. Pero, how do I change it? Dun ako nahirapan. Sobrang grabe yung hatred that I felt towards myself. So, this is how I got over it. Number 1 is, I gained awareness about my self-loathing phase by opening up. So, you just need that person who really knows you well and who's really gonna be honest with you for you to open up and really help you see your blind spot. Anxiety tends to clutter your mind. So, the more clutter that you have, the harder it is to sort through your feelings and your thoughts. The harder for you to really see yung root cause ng problem. At least I was aware na. Kasi before I was unaware, I kept on solving it with things that made it worse. Kasi I was solving a problem I didn't know about. Now, if you don't have a person like that, you find a therapist. It actually crossed my mind at some point. Lalo na ngayon, sa sobrang fast-paced nating mundo, I think this is the time more than ever for our generation to think that it's okay to get a therapist. I mean, that's an adult and mature way of addressing our problems. Yung next ko rin ginawa to help me get over my self-loathing phase is brainwashing. I started with podcasts. Nag-search lang ako sa Spotify ng Building Your Self-Trust. Search din pala ako ng mga Facebook groups who are going through the same thing. Nakakatulong na I get to read other people's experience. Nagkaroon ako ng perspective na, okay, hindi lang ako yung nagadaan dito. Next is, I read books. Ito yung una kong binasa, Daily Stoics. By date siya, March 23rd, meron siyang words of wisdom about being stoic. Ang stoic kasi meaning is, stoicism teaches us to focus on the things we can control. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions, while accepting the things we cannot. Ano ba yung makokontrol ko? And that's myself. I can control how I think. I can control what I feel. I can control how I see a specific situation. If I see it negatively, I'll see it negatively. If I see it positively, then magiging positive din yung actions ko. Ito naman, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Nasa Kindle ko to eh. Itong book naman na to by Mark Manson. The main principle of his philosophy is not about indifference, na parang wala ka ng pake, manhid ka na lang, parang, ay, may namamatay sa harap ko, okay lang yan. But it's about limiting your fucks. Ilang buhay. Lahat ng bagay sa atin limited. Energy natin, oras natin, mental bandwidth natin. And it's about choosing where to spend that on. It's about giving fucks to things that matter to you. Like for example, may maingay na kapitbahay, we spend so much energy on ranting about that. Ang daming bagay sa buhay na parang pwede mong paglaanan ng attention mo. And you choose that kapitbahay. Sayang lang eh. But I don't give a fuck. It's like the concept of choosing your battles, diba? Na, kunwari, nag-aaway kayo palagi ng nanay mo. As you mature, parang you realize na hindi lahat ng bagay is worth na pag-awayan. May things na hayaan mo na lang. And then may mga things that matter. Like for example, hindi talaga okay yung yung ginawa mong kailangan natin pag-usapan yan. You can give a fuck, but you don't have to be angry about it. So you can always communicate it naman na parang maayos na usapan. Parang at least that's how I apply it. And then lastly, seeking a community. You could find a community like here in TikTok. Like ako ngayon, I'm building this community with you. Yung community rin na isa kong sneak out, alam ko na hindi naman lahat kayo dito are religious, that's okay. But ako personally, yun yung nag-work sa akin. By seeking God, I found a community. It could be different for everyone. You could find a community through a group of cosplayers. You could find a community through like a support group. You could find a community even in your friends, just like getting in touch with them again. So yun, that's how I got over it.